one day event or sir, this is going to be for complete?
Come again, madam.
I said, is it today the one day event or this is going to last for 20 days?
It is for 8 days.
Okay.
It's for 8 days. Yeah, Mr. Pariel, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
So you can unmute your camera, sir.
Yeah.
We can have the darshan.
Just a minute, sir. Let me switch on the lights and all.
Sir, your face is as such bright, sir. You don't require light. Professor Moni is talking to the Secretary General, perhaps.
Can you ask His Excellency to join?
Okay, sir.
Okay, yeah. It's 3 o'clock. So,
You all,
thank
आप already link कर चुके सर क्या?
I have sent it to your WhatsApp.
नहीं आपने login कर लिया क्या उसमें?
Yeah, I have logged in. Everybody is logged in.
Okay, I'll just refresh. Okay, sir.
I think he's joining.
Professor Moni.
He is joining now. His Excellency is joining now.
Okay.
Yeah, I already talked to his Executive Secretary.
think he has come. So very good evening, His Excellency.
Hello. Very good evening, everybody.
Hello, very good
Yeah, very
evening.
good evening.
Good evening.
How are you all?
Fine, very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
I
good
think
evening,
Dr.
His
Partha.
Excellency. I'm Dr. Parth Sarthi Iyengar. I'm the founder CEO of India Startup 360 and Millet Mart Ventures. So I'm thankful to Professor Moni for connecting us with you. So with your permission, maybe we can
Thank
start
you.
the
Please join.
event
Hello.
formally. Maybe I request people to introduce yourself to His Excellency. Maybe then we can have a formal start. So, Mr. Guna, please.
Yeah,
A formal
good day to
introduction
all.
only.
Good day. My name is Guna Sekaran. I'm from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'm representing organization called GoPio Global Organization, People of Indian Origin, and
Right.
under that we have a separate unit, Business Council. So this International Business Council, I'm present chairman. Nice to meet every one of you. I'd like to let us interact, network. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah, Mr. Benjamin.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Benjamin. Um, I am the founder and CEO of a company by name Farm Again. So we are in the field of precision farming. So we use modern technologies such as artificial intelligence and IoT, and we have developed indigenous technology that can do precision farming autonomously and demonstrate up to, in most cases, around 10 plus times better yield compared to the traditional methods. So nice meeting everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin. Mr. Pariel.
Good afternoon, all of you, sir. My name is A.M. Pariyal. I'm basically a technocrat, and uh, right now my earlier assignment was I was working as a vice chairman of the state agency, CHIPS for all e-governance, locational intelligence, and e-governance activities for all the departments in the state government. Uh, right now, I'm basically mentoring one of the agri startup called Cropway, which is into artificial intelligence and machine learning, data analytics, all related to agriculture and agriculture related business activities. It also involved the blockchain as a trust mechanism and locational intelligence. Uh, Thanks for this opportunity, Partha Saab, sir, and Professor Moni.
Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Vaishali.
His Excellency Dr. Manoj Nardev Singh ji, and all the esteemed board members of the board. I am Professor Vaishali Pampure. I am Professor of Physics and Head of the Department of University of Mumbai of the Physics Department. I am into research into artificial intelligence, data analytics, and machine learning, along with my other activities and spirituality run at the Department of Science. And I have interacted with Dr. Partha Sarthi on a number of occasions, and I'm very I feel proud and I'm really honored that I am a part of this board which are now here. And I'm looking forward for a very fruitful interaction ahead. So thank you very much for giving me opportunity to be present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vaishali. Yes, Professor Saab, of course, you don't need any introduction. Still a formal introduction, please. Professor Moni, you need to unmute, sir.
Your Excellency, good afternoon, and good afternoon to all the distinguished colleagues. I'm Professor Moni, former Director General, National Informatics Center, presently Professor Emeritus, Chairman of the 5 Centers of Excellence in the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everybody once again. So,
Thank you, everybody, for the.
excellency, yes, please.
Thank you, everybody, for the introduction. I think everybody's voice was clear. I hope my voice also is clear, except from Dr. Vaishali. I don't know. There's an issue of echo there.
No,
Maybe that
sir.
can be sorted. Huh?
I can hear you clearly, sir.
No,
No
I
issue.
could not hear you. I could not hear you clearly when
Oh,
you were speaking.
sir,
So there is an echo coming.
is
Otherwise,
it okay?
the rest was clear.
Sir, I would introduce myself.
No, it's okay. I've got it, but it was not very clear.
I hope it is
Would you-
okay, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay now. It's okay now.
So-
It's better.
So from my side, I'm the Secretary General of Audio, and obviously we'll be delivering our talks, and we can meet later on also. And it's very good to be connected with this very important network and very important people doing a very wonderful job in promoting startups, especially in the agricultural domain and in other domains. Thank you very much. I think we can get started. Might be
Thank
late
you,
already.
Your
after
Excellency.
issues. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, with your kind permission, we'll start the program formally.
Please.
So, before that, I just wanted to give a formal introduction about myself, about the event, and other things. Okay, so I am Parthasarathy Iyengar, founder CEO of India Startup 360, which is a startup community basically nurturing different communities from different domains spread all over the world. So we have something close to 3,000 odd mentors and more than 70,000 mentees from different domains with whom we are working very closely and helping them to right from the seed stage to develop the funds, and also we nurture them post disbursement for another 2 years so that those sustain, because the first 2 years for the startups is very crucial. So, and also we conduct events virtually like this with the different themes. So this month's team is, as I told you, it is for agricultural value chain, and also it's a conference based on different topics, which is going to empower the agri value chain, and our emphasis will be how to make a commodity into a product and sell it with a higher price in the international market. So we are also working very closely with Shobit University and of course Farm Again, and then of course Cropway, and thanks to Dr. Vaishali, we are very good friends. And of course, I am part of Gopio International Business Council, so I am thankful to Mr. Gunasekaran also making it a point to come over today and then making the event a grand success. So, with this, I would request Mr. Gunasekaran to welcome all and then start the proceedings. Over to you, Mr. Gunasekaran.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Partha. Vanakkam, namaste, and good day. We'd like to welcome Honorable Excellency Dr. Manoj Naudya Singh, Secretary General, African Asian Rural Development Organization, Prof. M. Moni from Delhi, New Delhi, Prof. Vaishali, Mr. A. M. Parial, Mr. Benjamin Raja from Coimbatore, yet to join Mr. Vijay Kumar from London. Eminent speakers, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to also thank Mr. Partha Dr. Saradi, for his effort in organizing this webinar titled Agriculture Value Chain Expo and Conference 2022, and particularly on digital transformation. Agriculture being one of the main pillar of economy for India, it's inextricable to separate India from agriculture. Agriculture sector employs more than 50% of the Indian workforce and contributes almost 18% to country's GDP. India also is in the right trajectory, and with the right value chain strategies, it will propel further to assist the agriculture community and the farmers in particular. It is also a befitting subject to discuss at this point of time, as the conflict between Ukraine and Russia has plummeted supply of many agriculture producers. And the world is seeking India's assistance to cover the shortfalls. In this webinar, Mr. Parthasarathi has lined up eminent speakers touching on all the aspects of value chain proposition to address issues affecting the same. Paradigm shift is needed through digital transformation for efficiency and effectiveness to compete with the advanced countries. The younger generation are adapting to the latest technology faster, and surely it will alleviate the difficulties faced by the farmers and at the same time to lure the youths to be in the agriculture sector. Before I end my welcome speech, I just like to touch on GOPIO. GOPIO stands for Global Organization of People of Indian Origin, and it remains a political and non-sectarian organization. As most of you all know, there are almost 30 million PIOs globally. Malaysia, with 2.7 million PIOs, are second largest country after US with 4 million PIOs. GOPIO was formed 30 years ago with the aim of bringing together PIOs to network each other for common benefits, especially for socio-economic, culture, human rights, etc. Among the main objective of GOPIO International Business Council, which was formed 3 years ago with the blessing of GOPIO International, is to create international PIO networking group for international businesses, bringing together entrepreneurs to explore new business opportunities. And we also have monthly business or economic talk series, and we also have the business economic conference yearly. We also like to have a strong connection with Mother India and Indian nationals, and to form an international PIO business consortium for international businesses and investment ventures, which we are already working on it. We invite everyone to participate in our activities. Let us work together to seize the many opportunities made available through the networking session. Thank you.
So kind of you, Mr. Gunasekharan, for the open invitation to people across the globe. So I now call upon Dr. Vaishali to formally light a lamp, and we'll also be playing the song of Lord Goddess Saraswati. Can you do the honors, Dr. Vaishali, please? Hello?
Do I have to click, sir?
No, do you have a lamp so that you can, I told you that you can light it?
Oh, lamp at my end, you said? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was a digital lamp. Oh, sir, then can you give me 5 minutes? Then I'll just arrange for it. I have it.
You have it.
I
Okay,
thought
no
that
problem.
was a digital display.
No. There was a miscommunication basically.
Yeah, there's
You
some
can just
mistake.
take a little time, I think.
Yes.
Once you're ready, you can tell me.
Yes. Sir, I'll just pause for 5 minutes.
Yeah. By the time she gets ready for that, I would just like to play a small AV about our event so people can have better ideas what exactly we are doing and what is going to be the festivity that in the next 7 days is going to happen. Here we go. Thank you. So I now welcome our friend joining us from Oman, Dr. Kabali P. Subramanian. So, Dr. Kabali, can you please unmute and introduce yourself to His
Sure.
Excellency and also to other dignitaries?
Namaskar. Very good afternoon from Muscat, Oman. It's my pleasure to be here amongst some of the leading dignitaries in the agri industry. Wish you all the very best. Looking forward to hear from you and share some of my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kabali. So kind of you for making it in spite of your busy schedule over there. Let me just check up with Mr. Vaishali is ready with the lamp.
I'm ready,
You
sir.
ready
Just
then?
yeah, half a minute. I'm just ready.
Half a minute. Okay.
Take it over.
Please unmute your camera, please.
Yes, sir. Just one second. Is it back to you? One second. Yeah. Sir, I hope I'm visible.
Yeah, it's visible, no problem.
Okay, sir. So hereby I'm lighting it. It is visible, sir.
Yes, very much visible.
I pray and God for this event to be a great success. We'll play songs.
Thank you for doing the honors. Unfortunately, that song is not playing. We have just made one small Saraswati Vandana by the late Lata Mangeshkar, but somehow it is not playing. Nevertheless, we pray for the success of the event and thank you very much. Thanks, Miss Dr. Vaishali.
Yeah, to be a great success.
So I now call upon His Excellency Dr. Manoj Nardev Singh Ji, Secretary General, African Asian Rural Development Organization, or New Delhi, to deliver his keynote address, please.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope I'm clear. My voice is being heard very clearly.
Yes, Dr.
Thank
Sir.
you. Thank you. Respected Parthasari Anigar, founder and CEO of Millet Mart Ventures and also Indian Startup 360. Eminent Professor Moni, former Director, National Informatics Center, India, Emeritus Professor also of Shobit University. Mr. Ganeshankaram Srirangana, Chairman of Gopio International Business Council of Malaysia. Mr. Pariyal, former Vice Chairman of Chhattisgarh Infotech Promotion Society. Dr. Vaishali Bambuli, Mr. Benjamin Raja, founder Farmagain, Coimbatore. Dr. Kabali Subramaniam, Arab Open University of Oman, Mr. Vijay Kumar Devarajan. Dear participants from India and abroad, all other protocols respected, ladies and gentlemen, a very good day to you all. I am very much appreciative and grateful to the organizers for inviting me at today's IS 360 inaugural session of Agricultural Value Chain Expo and Conference of 2022 and providing me a wonderful opportunity to address a galaxy of stakeholders. Bringing such a party of scientists, policymakers, practitioners, and startups to deliberate on opportunities, challenges, and the role of technology in the digital transformation of agricultural value chain, and also exhibiting innovations and relevant startups is indeed very praiseworthy and commendable. Thanks to the organizers, thanks to everybody who is supporting this event. Before giving my keynote address as Secretary General of ADU on behalf of 31 member countries from Africa and Asia, it is an immense honor and privilege for me to express sincere congratulations to the all organizers for impeccable arrangements of this global expo and conference, as well as to solemnly greet all of you present with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, we were all rejoicing that following the massive blow of the long-tail COVID-19, that the year 2022 would be perceived as a year of hope and economic rebound. However, as insecurity and precariousness seem to be still menacingly lingering around and maybe magnified with the recently broken out war 44 days back, special efforts would have to be made in improving the agricultural value chain to support the uphill task of economic revival and rebounding back in the agro industry. I do understand that the conference will be addressing key challenges of agricultural value chain, such as coordination of multiple intermediaries, which is very important in any change, improvement of transparency and traceability, scaling up of digital technologies, precision farming, and creating platforms which can integrate farmers and markets. The food and agribusiness industry today is no doubt facing unprecedented changes on various fronts. fundamentally impacting on the way agribusiness activities are conceptualized and managed. In some countries, we know that digitalization, and even in India, we know that it's playing an important role in improving productivity, competitiveness, and smart farm with big data platform are rapidly transforming agricultural sector. We know that there are many buzzwords nowadays on the market like ICT, IoT, geomatics, remote sensing, artificial intelligence. All these are accompanied with blockchain technology, nanotechnology, robotics, etc. They have become common parlance in agriculture sectors in many of our countries in Africa and Asia, especially from Urdu. I talk most of Africa and Asia. However, in many countries, we still have stern contemporary and impending challenges are being faced in food and agribusiness management. So we know that affordable, innovative, and disruptive technologies and solutions on a larger scale and in a sustainable scale are required to fully integrate all stakeholders. At Audio, we have noted that there is really what we call disorganized value chain and low processing percentage in agriculture in African and Asian regions, which consequently, because of this low organization, we know that this carries a huge potential. There is a huge potential for agro processing. This is where startups can look for ventures. And we also are very much aware that there are now enhanced free trade possibilities among African Union nations with the coming in force of the African Continent Free Trade Agreement. This also, ladies and gentlemen, can and has to be fully tapped. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID pandemic, which has exposed the fragility of many agri-food systems, has equally been a clarion call to focus on digitalization of agriculture. We have to make systematic changes to address the daunting triple challenges the world faces today. Feeding a growing population due to which has been forecasted to reach nearly 10 billion by 2015. By 2050, protecting agri-food related livelihoods for more than 500 million farmers worldwide, preserving our natural resources that are basics for food production are very much essential and challenges of the day. The world is unfortunately currently failing on most of these challenges. We have a recently published UN report of 2021 on the state of food security and nutrition in the world, which confirms the negative trend in the fight against global hunger, against malnutrition, dramatically aggravated by the effects of the pandemic. We know that there is around a tenth of the global population, approximately estimated to be around 811 billion people, who are still undernourished. This has been a 15% increase compared to 2019, that is in 2020. We also know that approximately one third of the food produced in the world is lost or wasted, when on the other hand, we have more than a third of the world population which cannot afford healthy diet. Some of the poignant paradoxes of the current production and consumption of food in the world depict a global food system that is unsustainable, unhealthy, and unfair. Digitalization and fairer agri-value chain may address these conundrums. Agro-industries have to be taken to new levels of efficiency. Digital transformation has to occur at practically all stages of the value chain to fundamentally and disruptively transform our agri-food system. Progressively, we will be further witnessing that physical and virtual worlds are converging towards the digitalization of all processes of agricultural value chain. Digitalization is indeed very much promising in improving current agri-food system and enhancing its sustainability. It may also mitigate many of these environmental externalities of agriculture while enhancing efficiency, productivity, and profitability for all stakeholders. Information technology we know, such as Internet of Things, cloud computing, big data analytics, and so on, will be further accelerated. E-commerce revolution, mobile-based business model, providing advisory, marketing, and financial services at scale to stakeholders, including small stakeholders, smallholder farmers, are flourishing. Blockchain management provides more transparency along value chain and may increase trust from consumers. Ladies and gentlemen, no doubt digitalization is offering a great potential for improving the efficiency and sustainability of our value chain, and more importantly, in achieving specific SDGs, SDG number 1 and number 2, which pertains to no poverty, zero hunger, and also for climate change, and SDG number 13. The question, in fact, is will digitalization fulfill all its promises for sustainable agricultural production? We should not forget that in the past, major technical revolution in agriculture, such as the Green Revolution itself, mechanization, genetic engineering, have been associated with certain undesirable effects, such as environmental degradation. It will therefore be very much essential to shape digital transformation in a sustainable way. And this is an important role for startups to take upon. The extent to which digitalization will make a significant contribution to solving the urgent sustainability challenges obviously also depends on the way we are going to design our political, legal, and economic frameworks, beside the technology and technological solutions. Digitalization has also to significantly improve production and working conditions for farmers and all the stakeholders along the chain. We also need to see how we can better encourage the youngsters, young generation, to be on the farm and to make use of digitalization on the farm. As we know, many of the countries are facing the problem of we call them all farmers, all young farmers. So we need to ensure that there are new the generation joins with digitalization. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, our digital transformation has to be managed as what I call as a disruptive process that will change the entire agricultural sector and create value at all levels and for all stakeholders. We should be having what we call an inclusive digitalization. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues, we know that in many of the African and Asian countries of ARDU, the spread of mobile technology, remote sensing services, and distributed computing in food and agricultural sector is timidly picking up momentum to improve farmers and smallholders' access to information, access to input markets, and support from startup is required to increase production, productivity, streamline supply chain, and reduce operational costs. So again, this is an area where startup can be very active. As I said, digitalization in some countries are very fast, but in other countries they have yet to be speed up to take a center stage in agricultural development. We need to transfer, I would say, success stories, the way and models which have been implemented successfully in some countries, like in India, to other countries. Together, we may harness the power of digital technologies in piloting, accelerating, scaling up innovative ideas, and transforming digital solutions and services for tangible and multiplier effect in food and agriculture of many other member countries where we know investment in knowledge-based and more sophisticated systems as smart farming are still lagging behind. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to say a few words on ARDU itself. African Asian Rural Development Organization is an innovative and effective platform operating on the principle of South-South cooperation, also on triangular cooperation, so that we can pull up experiences, best practices, and appropriate technologies for specifically agricultural and rural transformation in our member countries. We treasure 6 decades of success in our deal, but while treasuring that, we recognize that except a few member countries, rural development, agricultural development, transformation, agricultural value change are still to be developed at a higher level. We have recently come up with our strategic framework, and we still want to remain an ardent advocate in mainstreaming agricultural and rural development issues as an indispensable facilitator of sustainable agriculture and rural transformation. In this vein, ARDU has corroborated most of its program. We are running a series of programs for human resource development for pilot projects in member countries. Most of our programs have been corroborated with the SDGs, and we are leveraging on strategic partnership and collaboration to address urgent, contemporary, and impending challenges. Lots of challenges out there in our countries, member countries: poverty, health, hunger, food security, climate change, youth empowerment. And obviously, we are looking forward to have a fairer agricultural value chain. We are fully cognizant that technology transfer and innovation will perpetually remain key determinants for rural development and agricultural development in our member countries. So that's why we have saddled ourselves with a mission of bringing more science to the society. And we have fully re-engineered our organization and geared up to answer to the clarion call of stepping up, speeding up, and scaling up the transfer of innovation and affordable technology in all 31 ARDU member countries. Again, there's plenty of room for startups to play important role here. ARDU is thus a ready platform for any startups or any organization to transfer knowledge, to transfer technology, to tackle a series of problems, a series of, I would say, conundrum in upgrading agricultural value chain in Africa and Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know, as per the Global Startup Ecosystem Index 2021, India itself stands at the 20th position, if I'm getting the right figure, among the top 100 countries. The startup environment in India has always been a vibrant one, with phenomenal progress, especially for tech startups. Startups from India are all invited, and other countries also, to fully tap through ARDU the African Continental Free Trade Area, as I said before, which is one of the largest free trade area in the world, connecting 1.3 billion people across 55 countries with a combined gross domestic product valued approximately at 3.5 trillion US dollars. So again, huge potential for startups to explore and implement their solution in these areas. Ladies and gentlemen, ARDU promotes cooperation and networking for continuous development of human capital resources and transfer of technologies, transfer of knowledge, so that we have better rural areas and better agricultural communities in Africa and Asia. Together, we can and we should leverage intercontinental cooperation towards transformative policies, towards transformative programs, and enhanced capacities. We can facilitate business relationships among strategic partners interacting in important supply chain in Africa and Asia. We may also develop partnership for supporting replication of models which have been successfully implemented, especially in India and any other country, so that we can support technological, institutional, and policy changes. In so doing, ladies and gentlemen, we will together be able to trigger long-lasting transformation of agricultural communities by improving their productivity and also ensuring real incomes in an equitable and environmentally sustainable manner. I am pleased to inform the gathering that Audio has conceived what we call the Audiopedia, which is a repository of policies, programs, and successful policies and programs and models. And more importantly, we've got within there an ATM, which we call Affordable Technology Menu. And I invite all of you to visit Audio website and to contribute and make use of that menu so that we can improve agricultural value chain in many countries. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I will say it is very aberrant that after implementing the SDGs now for quite long, the world is still remaining off track to ending, as I said, hunger, malnutrition in all its form by 2030. As we know, this has been highlighted by very important reports. We should not also forget that we have to feed shortly by 2050, as I said, nearly 10 billion persons. And this increase in population will occur primarily in Africa and Southeast Asian countries. Consequently, the food production must increase. And approximately, scientists have forecasted that we have to increase food production by 60% and by 2050. And that's also some 100% increase in developing countries using, again, limited, fast depleting natural resources. This is where information technologies and new way of organizing our agricultural value chain will be helpful in surpassing this mammoth task. Ladies and gentlemen, the complex challenges to food security and nutrition call indeed for greater synergy and coherence of all stakeholders and also of policy formulators, people who formulate our policy. We have to meet together to see how we can best scale up, give opportunities to start up, to scale up technologies to implement across different value chains and improve our food system in many countries. Indirectly, we will be also tackling poverty, structural inequalities, and ensuring intervention so that we have inclusive growth in all these countries where startups with the assistance of Audio can easily do a marvelous job. As we know, food systems are dynamic structures, and it's in a state of continuous flux and adaptation. A transformative approach requiring policy mix, innovation, institutional reform is therefore needed at all levels. Indeed, what we need game-changing policies, game-changing institutions, technologies. Most of them are very much game-changing available now. It has to be increased in scale and transmitted to places where they are direly required. I believe that together we can and we have to target well-structured agribusiness supply chains for efficient production practices, post-harvest management, market access, effective institutional arrangement, good governance. Especially, we can get started for a few selected main crops. Science-driven advances would be decisive, increasing global scientific capacity and information sharing in food system, and working together is indeed the cry of the day, so that we can have important ramification in agribusiness in all our countries from audio perspective, and all other countries participating with us in today's conference and also in the expo, which is going to be ongoing as from today. To conclude, let me, ladies and gentlemen, underscore once again the necessity to improve our scientific knowledge and ensuring a strong science policy interface, as well as holistically and coherently, comprehensively, and lucidly approach development challenges in an urgent mode for efficient, effective, and fair agricultural value chain. With this, I'd like to once again thank all the organizers, and may I declare the India Startup 360 Agricultural Expo and Conference open. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency, for declaring the event open. I am very thankful to you for your kind availability and also for the time that you have spared with us. And we are very thankful and for your valuable time, and request you to stay shared with us so that you can have a look at the rest of the proceedings as well. So with this, I now call upon Professor Moni to give his deliberation on this role of agri-informatics in doubling the farmer's income. That is his favorite topic. So we would like to call upon Professor Moni, please.
Thank you very much. And I will be share my document. Just 1 minute. It gets loaded, and I would like to thank Dr. Parthasarathy Iyengar and His Excellency Dr. Manoj Nardev Singh, Secretary General, ARDO, and all other colleagues who are participating in this very important program. His Excellency Secretary General ARDO gave a complete roadmap for today's program. It's very important. I have been working with him for more than 8 years now, and today's topic is that he has given a very good value chain roadmap, and how ARDO and India Startup 360 and the organization like GOPIO can work together to bring in a well-structured agribusiness value chain. Let me, is it visible now?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Thank you very much. And our Honorable Chancellor has sent his greetings to the conference. He was not able to participate in this program as envisaged due to personal uh, uh, occupation.
Bereavement.
He sent his greetings to the conference. His Excellency, Secretary General, and other esteemed colleagues, I would like to talk on role of agricultural informatics in doubling farmers' income. It's a very important topic. Is it moving? Hello?
Yeah, we are able to hear you, sir.
Is it moving?
No, it's not moving.
It's not moving. Okay.
They're in the first slide only.
Okay. Is it
Yeah, now
visible
it's
now?
okay. Yeah, it's okay.
As sponsored by Ardo recently, last year, I participated in the International Symposium on Tropical Fruits Informatic Network Value Chain Pathway for Achieving Sustainable Farmers' Income. It was well received. There are 14 member countries of Ardo. They are the members of this International Tropical Fruit Network, and the emphasis is that we have to have an informatics network value chain connecting all the fruits cultivators, farmers of these countries to have a well-structured agribusiness value chain for achieving sustainable farmers' income. There are opportunities. I would like to quote that we have a doubling farmers income committee report. I was closely associated with this committee in two volumes as a group leader, volume 11 and volume 12b. This volume 12b talks about 7 mission board programs on to introduce digital technology in agriculture. Digitalized agricultural system, smart irrigated farming, smart rainfed farming, and smart tribal farming. Digitalized agribusiness value chain, digitalized agromet and agricultural risk management solution, digitalized agricultural resources information system and micro level planning, facilitating smart village and smart farming. Digitalized agriculture value chain for about 400 agriculture commodities. Digitalized access to all sorts of inputs to facilitate farmers. And a digitalized integrated land and water management system. And a digitalized integrated farm health management integrating human health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, fish health, and environmental health. Why I would like to talk about this 7 mission board program is that it needs large scale human resources development. It needs that as a new discipline called agricultural informatics has to emerge in order to adopt digital technology at the farm level and the farmer level. India has got about something like 14.5 crores operational holders, out of which 85% are small and marginal operational holders. It means informatics led agriculture is essential. Adoption of information technology is important, and that's why his excellency in his keynote address emphatically emphasized on adoption of digital technology and well structured agribusiness value chain. I also would like to show the ecosystem in which India is working. We have Digital India 2015, we have Make in India 2015, Skill India 2015, Startup India 2015, Stand Up India 2015, Atmanirbhar Bharat 2020, Atmanirbhar Bharat 2020, and Mission, you know, Connectivity 2022. But we are aiming at agriculture 4.0. We would like to operationalize industry 4.0, and we would like to bring in society 5.0. These are all very important. Society 5.0 has come from Japan. Industry 4.0 has come from Germany. And agriculture 4.0 has to go from India to be to the various parts, for various, nations of this world. And as very rightly, informed by our honorable, His Excellency, that Asia and African continent has given a lot of opportunity for operationalizing of agriculture 4.0. I would like to, in the university, we run one in national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022, and international webinar series on open source digital technology towards self-reliant India in association with ARDO. I thank His Excellency, the Secretary General, for for associating ARDO with the international webinar series. This week we have completed 70th edition of both the series, 140 editions. I would like to give some sample of the slides from this webinar series for the benefit of that why we need to have agricultural informatics professional. This country needs about 1 lakh agricultural informatics professional at the MTech and BTech and BG diploma level. This is also true for various African countries in African continent, South America, and Asian continent, and so on and so forth. In India, about out of 145 million farmers in operational holders, about 125 million operational holders are of small and marginal farmers. On 4th October 2021, Mr. Krishna Mishra talked in the national webinar series on doubling farmers' income, talked about we needed to democratize the future of farming. The 85% of the operational holders need to have all the tools in a democratic way. The future of farming is it has to be democratized through digital technology. It's a very important topic which he talked about it. And then Mr. Krishna Gopal is a CEO of a very important NGO. He talked about that why can't we have the model like Operation Flood for transforming agriculture and food systems. He said it's very important. We were successful in operationalizing Operation Flood for dairy sector. Is a perishable commodity, but why can't we have such type of model operationalized in India for all perishable commodities of the agriculture and the horticulture sector? He said that he quoted the Operation Flood, world's largest dairy development program, not by mass production but by production by the masses. Then another, expert who talked in the webinar series, he said that in the dairy sector, that the thing is that about, the only 60% of the, the value realized at the customer side is being realized by the farmer at the farm gate level, and 17 rupees is going to the middleman. If we charge 2 rupees per liter for the digitalization of the this dairy value chain, we'll have an efficient a well structured agribusiness value chain in the dairy sector, and the farmer will get more money from this 17% which goes to the middleman. Then Dr. Parashuram Patil is fellow of Nehru Memorial Museum and Library. He talked about it that this is a time that agriculture exports management system of India needs to be integrated with the global value chain at the earliest. He talked about it. Then Mr. Dipankar Mukherjee talked about agriculture value chain challenges and opportunities. He talked about there are challenges in information services, production services, and market linkages. He said that the areas for technology intervention in information services, cloud calling, video chat, AI-powered chatbots, experience broadcasting in the production services. He talked about machine renting algorithms, farming as a service, AI-powered credit estimation, and solar-based devices, and market linkages, marketplaces, bidding platform, cold chain, routing navigation, and warehouse line of sight. And he talked about this area. Then another topic, Professor Ram Singh from Central Agricultural University, its campus at Meghalaya, he talked about organic spices cultivation for doubling of farmers' income in northeast region of India, a value chain analysis. Another CEO from another very important NGO, Mr. Balakrishnan, talked about impacting lives through livelihood promotion and value chain development case study from Breti Impact Model. Dr. Selvaraj, Chief General Manager, NABARD Mumbai, talked about small-scale fisheries and their contribution to rural livelihoods, case studies from developing countries. Mr. Atul Bhatnagar, he talked about smart micro, economic zone, pathway for self-reliance at value chain, and the international webinar series on open source digital technology towards self-reliant India, in association with Ardo. Mr. Kumaran, he talked about agribusiness potentials in Moringa. His startup is exporting about 60 products to about 88 countries from India. Mr. Bakshi talked about how to have from the agriculture waste biofuel circle. It's a circular economy. He talked about, and he is going to work with the Soviet University to establish necessary startup in the state of Uttar Pradesh. On 7th April yesterday, Professor Selva Kumar Magada from the Dean Fisheries College of Fisheries Mangalore talked about Vision 2025 Agriculture and Allied Sectors Viewpoint, and he showed a slide which I was quite shocked. Chappal versus fish, and it gives a lot of meaning which you can derive it. So it needs, if you would like to have a well-structured agribusiness value chain, we have to modernize our outlet. This, as a Dean Fisheries Science, he is one of the very prominent man in the College of Fisheries, in the fisheries science area. He's talked about yesterday that how to transform the fisheries value chain. And then is another NGO, is an Ashoka Fellow, Mr. Branchal Barua. He's been working from 1994. He has established a well-structured business value chain for mushroom from Assam. He talked about a way towards self-reliance from agriculture waste and providing national food security to the nation. He talked about it, that his foundation is working with mixing of various components, tapioca, mushroom, honey, and fruits, and sticky rice from northeastern region. And Professor Andres Brodner, he talked about the need for knowledge management for development partnership to achieve the sustainable development goals of the UN and implementing the Agenda 2030. And these are all some of the things which I thought that I should give it. But now, in order to have a well-structured agribusiness value chain, our farm extension has to go for a total transformation through digital technology. I call it as farm extension 4.0. Previously, India has got about something like 670 Krishi Vigyan Kendra, whereas many of the developed economy, if you like to see that, even in China, they got about more than 6 lakhs of skill centers for the agricultural discipline. So we need to have at least one startup, agri deep tech startup in every gram panchayat. It means that in India, we have to have about something like 2.25 lakh agri deep tech startup, one per each gram panchayat to help 14.5 crores operational holders through farm extension 4.0. Fine. These are all the strategy recommendation, and this 7 mission board programs will facilitate to establish that digital technology in agriculture. It means that digital technology means blockchain, IoT, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, big data analytics, GIS, smartphone, internet, cloud computing, and language computing. And the thing is that we have seen previously green technology we have witnessed, but now in the throughout the world, the another technology which is now is picking up is GRIN, green. G is genomics, R is robotics, I is informatics, and N is nanotechnology. So in the agriculture sector, this green technology have to be promoted, by the deep deep tech startups in the country to help the 14.5 crore operational holders. This is a diagram which is digital technology in agriculture, and it's a database technology, big data, uh, you know, technology, and the web technology, IoT, WOT, and GIS technology, artificial intelligence, and so on and so forth. Then smart farming has to come in the form of AI design pathways in farm management systems. We have product, then we have smart product, then we have the smart product, and then we have product systems, and now it's a system of systems. And adoption of Industry 4.0 in the agriculture sector will facilitate smart farming, that is artificial intelligence design pathways in farm management system. Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan in agriculture, we also talked about that to include digital infrastructure in Atmanirbhar Abhiyan in agriculture. In one of the webinar series dated 12th December 2020, we said that the digital infrastructure, which includes predictive analytics, automated labeling, wearable technology, blockchain-based traceability, value chain, AI-based analysis, and IoT-based sensors. It's very important. And smart village, smart farm, we has about something like 6 components, which is weather smart, water smart, and carbon smart, and then these nitrogen smart, energy smart, and knowledge smart. Even at every village, it can facilitate at least 6 startups to facilitate these verticals at the farm level and farmer level. Mr. Sanjay Vitarthi, in one of the webinar, he said that agriculture has become the biggest use case of cutting-edge technologies by the IT companies. In India, we have IITs and NITs and triple ITs and about 45,000 higher educational institutions and 1,500 universities. India being an agrarian economy, we have to have agriculture as a use case, adoption of technology. This is where that agricultural informatics as a discipline, which I have been working for the last 20-25 years, has to take place in this country. And 2 weeks back, there was a meeting with the ICR where I was invited to talk about this agricultural informatics. I think now it will take a very important step in the country. And the initial seed was, facilitated by the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology way back in 2009. Now, digital world, the rise of platform economy, which has to adopt various technologies. It is a scientific intervention, must have clear outcomes that will modernize the agriculture. Digitalizing the information flow and data analysis across the entire value chain is important. And the frontier technologies, among the frontier technology, protected agriculture, precision agriculture, and vertical farming, all of which depart substantially from many of the conventional agricultural production methods. You can see that the conventional agriculture production system, I have shown a diagram which is depicted at the right hand side. We have technologies that uses sensors, software, connectivity, location, robotics, and data analytics. And smart farmer, smart farming, and smart village are the expected to emerge. Smart Village program, which I was instrumental in getting the program approved by the then Planning Commission in 2002. Still, it is in the runway to take off, and finally, it has found the way in the Doubling Farmers Income Committee report, Smart Village and Smart Farming. The way forward is what? I have given an environment on which the digital technology in agriculture will get facilitated, and we need to have an agri-tech startups. Today, the IT startups are taking place, without having a sufficient understanding of agricultural, ecosystems. So agricultural technology and information technology has to get synergized. We need about 1 lakh, agricultural graduates have to be transformed. This is very important. And that's why, can you remove the framework that, it is not, oh, okay, fine. I was instrumental in, to work with the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology. They have shown this is the first private university in the country to have agricultural informatics as a discipline. They set up a Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, and launched programs MTech in Agricultural Informatics. And I will make this brochure available to all the participants. And this is to train the existing agriculture graduates to get into, agricultural informatics, to make IT in agriculture in a big manner. We also launched BTech in agricultural informatics, BG diploma, and, diploma programs in agricultural informatics. MBA in agribusiness management is very important. There are about 450 agriculture commodities in the value, in the country. India is a country which have 365 days of sunrise. Sunlight is available. More than 127 agroclimatic zones, and more than 450 agricultural commodities. And we need to have at least one agriculture value chain, well-structured agriculture value chain, one value chain, one for one commodity from every district, 715 districts in the country. And MTech, programs, and also that in order to bring in e-governance in a perspective manner through standards. And the university has also set up Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, and launched MTech in Informatics and E-Governance with various PG diplomas, wherein we also have a certificate programs on e-governance in agriculture sector, e-governance in livestock sector, e-governance in fisheries sector, e-governance in tribal sector, e-governance in cooperative sector, e-governance in so many other related areas, that so that that the e-governance professionals who wanted to have e-governance program in the country, they should not stop with only creating a portal. Why these informatic professionals are needed? We need to we have to lead the digital programs, digital transformation. We have to build the digital capabilities. We have to build the leadership capabilities, and in the back we have to have necessary digital transformation tools and programs for digital transformation. That's how this university has set up a Center for Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics, Center for Agribusiness Disaster Management Studies, Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies. We have launched an MBA program to train CEOs of 63 million MSMEs in the country. Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Center for Health Informatics to have an MSc and BSc Health Informatics to train the people with the biology background on with AI and big data analytics and blockchain to have an integrated health informatics value chain, which is $1 trillion economy. Human health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, and fish health. So this is what I would like to talk about today's program. And today's program is a very important program, and that is on digital transformation of the agriculture value chain, opportunities, challenges, and role of technology. And a lot of challenges, a lot of opportunities. We have to convert the challenges into opportunities and through the technology. for which we have to generate a lot of human resources. And both Asian and African continents generate, its agriculture climate systems are almost same as small operational holders, and the solutions which provide is are also applicable in both many countries of Africa and Asia. So with this, I would like to thank the organizer, Dr. Parthasar Iyengar, to have this very important program, Agriculture Value Chain, conference, with bringing in all the relevant people to the audience to talk about the agriculture value chain. And I talked about the need for agricultural informatics professionals. And India is an agrarian economy. We need to have a digital technology in agriculture. We need to have at least one agri deep tech startup in every gram panchayat. It means that 2.25 lakh, agri-tech startup is necessary, for which we need to have necessary human resources. Agricultural informatics is the discipline which synergizes the relevant technology and science and technology together as one discipline. Thank you very much, Mr. Iyengar.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Moni, for your thorough insight about the need of agri informatics and also the data analytics on various aspects. Now I am going to call upon the gentleman who basically practices everything, including the geospatial data. I take this opportunity to introduce a good old friend of mine, whom I know almost since 1998, if I am correct. He was there, his mother department with the Chhattisgarh Electricity Board. Then it was MSCB. Then 2000, I think we became Chhattisgarh. So then immediately he was made in charge of the Chhattisgarh Information Technology and Bioinformatics Society, CHIPS, that is called that. So he served as a CEO for a quite long time, and then he left the job as the vice chairman of that society. So I now call upon him to give his views about role of geospatial data in developing agri ecosystem. Over to you, Mr. Parial.
Oh, thanks, Dr. Partha. Uh, mm, uh, Thanks, Dr. Manoj, Nardev Singh ji, Dr. Moni, Dr. Shivarangan, Dr. Subramaniam, Dr. Benjamin, and Dr. Vaishali, Dr. Vijay Kumar. Uh, uh, I am not from the research side. I am more of a practitioner. So I thought, let me take this opportunity to share some of the key aspects, probably which was flagged by His Excellency, Secretary General. That was about sustainable development goals, uh, fight against hunger, sustainable agriculture and farming, he also flagged a few more things. One was digitization, and Professor Dr. Moni, he actually emphasized about profitability of the agriculture business. Uh, Let me share some of the things. I'm sorry, this is basically a bit. I will be sharing one presentation. It is more of a graphical in nature, so I hope my bandwidth permits. Uh, I'm sharing my screen. It's asking about uploading file. Should I?
Nay, there is an arrow in between in the bottom, share. Then you can
Uh-huh.
select it, share the screen, entire screen, and then say OK.
Okay.
If you have any video, you need to check the box that with the video,
Okay.
audio.
Yeah, now got it. Got it.
Yeah. It is there now.
Uh, is it visible, sir?
Yes, it's visible. Please go ahead.
So, when we talk about agriculture and farming, and also this is a kind of a document which we have. It's a kind of a crinkled paper, one some images there which is hardly visible, readable, and for anything and everything, as a farmer you have to go to the village accountant and say, "Ki, okay, I want loan for such and such thing, or I want to dug up loan for a borewell, or I want a electricity connection." So this is the paper he always carries along with us. But what is or as a planner, or whenever you are into policy making, so this is another kind of a map or paper which you refer. That is basically the topo sheets, and which gives you the details about the contours. But it starts what we do. It's basically, can we actually make meaning out of these things? That's where the technology comes in. There are these maps are also in different pieces. So it is part A or part B of that village map, or it can the technology join these things together? That's what we do. That's where the digitization starts. Can we make a complete meaningful information out of it? That's called geographical information system. And then comes the role that how we blend these technologies with all other technologies. So once you have these uh, uh, data extracted from those maps, ca- what we do as a practitioner is we superimpose and georeference this on the satellite images, drone images, and then we actually analyze where is the water body, where is the canals, where is the exact location of your farm, and is it near the canal, or do you still have to search for some other groundwater source? How this and water body is actually feeding a complete ecosystem of the nearby villages. So this is where the technology and all these components starts. Now coming to the second point, does it make sense just to know where exactly it is located? One can walk into a village and can see where his farm is. But then comes, can we ensure that all the relevant information on that map, can it can it be serviceable? Can we make uh, uh, inferences out of it? Oh, where is the mandi? Where is the market? Where is the cold storage? Where is the hart or bazaar? What is the distance? And then comes all other things, like where exactly your farmland is available. So these are some of the output I am sharing. Like in a tahsil map, where exactly is your farm located? What is the RI circle for any government scheme? You need to know which RI circle or which administrative boundary you fall in. What is the basically the panchayat boundary or the janpat panchayat boundary, or where is the road? See, how you can reach to the nearest place? What is basically the odd population density? What is your market size? So these kind of a analysis can be done only once your farm and all these information are digitized. To also know which political boundary you fall in, or where exactly it is touching all nearby boundaries. What are the district roads, cart roads, national highway, state highway, district highways, so that what is that if there is a flood, or there is a national natural calamities, how you can ensure that you can safely reach to the nearest higher point. uh, what it also requires, what Professor Dr. Moni flagged out, we need the educated population also to be connected with the agriculture. So how your village or your panchayat or your district or your block is literate. Where exactly is the large literate population? From where you can get the experts? Then comes the science part of it. What are the drainages, or what are the extracted drainages, and how the water is actually seeping into your farmland. So where is the higher plain, where is the valley, whether you are in a valley or in a higher plain. So this actually gives you the watershed boundaries. So every village is actually a part of a watershed boundary. India, unfortunately, is one of the biggest water distress area in the world, and unfortunately, many of the districts may very soon will be zero water table places. So, if you don't have the drinking water, forget about the water availability for your agriculture. These maps actually gives you scientific inputs about where to have the right structure, how you can ensure that whatever little drop of rain which is coming to your farm or your village, how you can save and how you can preserve it for the entire year or so. Where exactly is the habitats, what is the spread of the habitats, how you can take your agriculture produce to your nearest uh, mandi. So these things actually starts with these kind of a digitization. And uh, this a lot depends upon the natural structure about the soil and the subsurficial infrastructure like geomorphology. That is basically the top surface structure, or lithology, but that is a under the below surface large stone infrastructure. uh, that that gives you, even if you want to utilize groundwater for your agriculture or drinking water, where exactly is those availability. Uh, Based on these things, we have those algorithms which gives you the groundwater prospects map, the spread of those water availability. And uh, when we mix it with the soil maps, uh, based on the drone survey or the satellite image surveys, satellite image extractions, we exactly tell you what is the land use, land cover, and what exact uh, the things which you need to grow in your farm. Uh, Whether your uh, farm or your village will be in water distress or in a rainwater shadow, where exactly you need to put those structure, that basically comes from the digital elevation model or the slope maps of this thing, which something for Chhattisgarh it looks like this. You can see at the center the Mahanadi and Shivnath river basin, and north and the south, the Satpura and the Bastar, the Mand area, higher elevations. So this gives even somebody who doesn't understand about the topology, or he doesn't have this thing, but this kind of a self-explaining maps actually gives those people involved in the agriculture what exactly he needs to do. Then comes we create those actionable information systems, like what are the basic amenities, what kind of a water, what is the quality of the water, what kind of infrastructures are available, where it is distressed, and is there something you need to do. Even for a micronutrients, if this is one this thing for copper or for iron or for manganese and or nitrogen spreads. So depending upon these micronutrients, what exactly is the requirement for micronutrients, or what kind of a agriculture inputs you require for this. This is one of the use case, that how this technology, even if it is that this is a this place or your farm is on the other side of the globe. This is one thing which the farmer actually approached us and asked that, can all I know about my farm, which I where I am investing, is they have given me these details. This is a Latin and French for him. So based on these technologies, so this is one of the use case that where what exactly is the distance from the port, what is it exactly the business case which we can make, where exactly it's located, what kind of a vegetation cover is there, or one major thing in that area is the flooding. So whether he should invest in that field or not, because it is a highly flood prone zone. So with these kind of analysis, he can easily find out whether his land will be in flood zone or not, what type of a soil, or what was the rainfall in last few years, and what is the digital elevation. Based on these things, he will be able to tell exactly what kind of a preparation will be required, and what kind of a input or investment he will be required to make this agriculture thing as a profitable and sustainable. So that's all from my side. I hope I could finish within the given timelines. And any questions? I think this is my mobile number and my email ID.
Uh, uh, Dr. Partha,
Yeah, thank you. Yes, sir.
uh, since Mr. Parayal ji has asked for any questions, so I have, I thought to let me chip in and try to ask one question. It's not one question, but it is a very good understanding, and a technocrat, being the vice chairman of a very important institution in the government of Chhattisgarh, and having such a deep knowledge, it is very important to get into the agricultural sector. It's a very important component of agricultural informatics. And when I was trying to promote GIS, geoinformatics, way back in 90s, and that time tools were not available, and now it's very important that which are emerging. That's why last time when we had a discussion, let us take Chhattisgarh as a model state with your technology which you are building up through the you are a mentor for a startup. Let us for creating a very well structured agriculture business value chain for a commodity. That's what they say in the keynote address. His Excellency, the Secretary General, said it. Let us work for some selected main crops for our complete agriculture value chain. It's important. Without GIS technology, it's very difficult to bring it out, because we have to map it from the bottom up. Natural resource accounting is very important. Natural resource management is very important. Thank you very much for your bringing out and basic understanding. And now today it's possible, but the only thing is that the land record, the farmer wise data and farm wise data is very important. That has to be facilitated to build up those two database of two activities: farmer data and farm wise data. Thank you very much, Mr. Pariyal.
Sir, if
Thank
permitted,
you,
I
Professor
can mention
Moni.
some of the things.
Yeah.
Sir, as far as the land records data, so now there are algorithms available. So with the drones as well as satellite imageries, we actually we extract those boundaries, and it is basically ground truthed by the villagers themselves. And there is a concept called who is garbage on that so who is the actually tilling that land, or who is basically right now garbage on that particular land. Unfortunately for us, the southern states of the India, they have Najri Naksha. It is basically called Tippan. Tippan is not to the scale, so that is another problem. And the ground control points are also destroyed due to the flood, and it is being neglected. So there are many things, but what you rightly pointed out, sir, is about the deep learning or machine learning, artificial intelligence, and those algorithms tools which is available. That helps a lot. So this is not difficult, and what we are trying to do through whatever through our little startup which I am mentoring, we are democratizing all these technologies so that even the marginal farmer or people who are, or the students who are into this agriculture science or agriculture informatics, so they are actually trained and this knowledge is transferred to them. So then they are, it's basically a force multiplier. So the basic spade work is done by machine, and their forces or their knowledge is multiplied. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Parial. And before calling Mr. Benjamin Raja, I just have a small AV about these initiatives. I think it will be fit. We'll have that AV first, then I call upon him to deliver the proceedings.
Hi, this is Benjamin, founder of Inaugural Private Limited. We are in the field of agriculture. We make precision farming an autonomous process by introducing the most modern technologies possible at an affordable cost. Precision farming requires the moisture at the root zone to be maintained at an ideal level all the time, and at the same time supply the right nutrient to the right crop at the right time at the right quantity. And if it is a protected structure like a greenhouse, maintain the climatic condition inside the structure so that the plants perform at its peak. And none of this can be optimally performed when it is completely done manually. And which is where we use our indigenously developed sensors and all kinds of control network to make this a reality at an affordable cost. Farmers benefit with an increased yield of, in some cases, 50%, and in some cases, all the way to 500%. The water utilization is highly optimal, bringing it down to just the bare minimal requirement, just right to the plant, and therefore even reduced electricity usage. We are with the farmers in making the dream of doubling the farmer's income and more crop per drop a reality.
Yeah, Mr. Benjamin, over to you.
Thank you. And I'll just share my screen quickly. Hope you can see my screen, Mr. Thakur.
Yeah, it's visible. Please go ahead.
Okay. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm Benjamin. Like I said before, founder of Farm Again. Quickly, the tagline that we have is harvest the unharvested, and the word unharvested is in fact an incorrect English word. The reason we coined that word is because there is a lot of, most of the crops that we grow, there is quite a lot that is not really realized. The potential is not realized, which is why we chose the word harvest the unharvested as a tagline. Essentially, what we do is a smart agriculture using IoT and artificial intelligence. And the name of our platform is Growtron. It is essentially an autonomous precision farming technology. So, what we try to address one is the groundwater depletion and the lowering of yield year on year and shrinking arable land. The other one is soil infertility. And the most important, that is very close to my heart, is the new generation abandoning farming. How do we address that? So there are ways in which we can address that, and I think the technology intervention is in the core of solving this problem. Now, if you look at what is smart farming, um, there has to be some data, and the way in which the data is collected has to be systematic, and there needs to be some predictability. We should be able to make some analysis with the data we collect, and that analysis should ideally lead to certain course corrections. And if we do that cycle, that should help us into some sort of a continuous improvement cycle. And if we do that in a farm, with or without technology, we can call that as smart farming. And what is the Internet of Things? Anything that can communicate itself with the Internet is Internet of Things, like a car, a pump, an air conditioner, a valve, and even a plant. So, how does a plant become Internet of Things? Not directly by itself, but can have the IoT devices that monitor the crop, which act like a proxy, with which a plant can also be part of Internet of Things. And what can artificial intelligence do in agriculture? Quite a lot. And specifically, what we focus are crop monitoring, uh, pest and disease diagnosis, early warnings, yield predictions, quite a lot of predictive insights, intelligent spraying, and post harvest management. So, high and predictable yield or productivity will be a factor of precision farming plus smart farming plus IoT and artificial intelligence. Using all of these will definitely result in a very high and predictable yield. So, just a quick background. All of us would have studied this in our primary school. Photosynthesis, which is the most vital process in the whole of agriculture. So, during photosynthesis, sunlight is converted by chlorophyll, which is the green pigmentation of the plant, into energy. And while doing so, it consumes the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and the minerals that the plant requires to produce sugars from the soil. And for this to effectively happen, there needs to be sunlight. There needs to be obviously the optimal level of carbon dioxide. There needs to be minerals in the soil, and there needs to be the right air-water balance at the root zone. The air-water balance is a stage where the moisture at the root zone is neither saturated or um, it is very dry, so it is well balanced. So when the air water is well balanced, and when carbon dioxide is available, and when sunlight is available, and when all the minerals are available, is the only time the plant can do an effective photosynthesis. And in this, if you look at a protected farming like a greenhouse, we can control the sunlight, we can control carbon dioxide. In an open form, we will not be able to control both of these. The only two other parameters that we can control are the air water balance at the root zone and the minerals at the root zone. So the systems can be designed for both open farming and the protected farming uh, so as to accommodate the necessities of both environments. And this is what we built. If you can think of the rectangles at the bottom left as different plots in a farm, we implant the necessary sensors. The basic ones would be the ones that will sense the pressure of the soil to understand the moisture levels, the temperature, the ambient temperature, the humidity, and these data are communicated. And of course, you can get quite a lot of other insights, such as the you can compute the evapotranspiration loss, you can get the air pressure, you can get the sun luminosity, the wind velocity, a lot of parameters that influence how much water is evaporated from the soil, and to be able to calculate how much has to be replenished. So those data then get communicated over to the cloud, where the artificial intelligence and the machine learning they provide a beautiful insights, and these insights are again in turn used to to carry out the farming activities autonomously. Say, for example, if one of these plots are indicated that at about 5 o'clock in the evening today, the air water balance is likely to go imbalance, then the system can automatically take action to ensure irrigation is done to that plot before 5, so that the air water balance can be maintained. And if some of the plots, let's say the tomato requires some nutrient today, then the system can ensure the nutrient is applied at the right quantity to that zone of the farm. And again, like I said in the previous slide, the nutrition uptake it is optimal only when the air water balance is ideal. Therefore, the system will have the ability to calculate, compute, and guess the right time to do the nutrient management, and will be able to take care of that appropriately. And if it is a protected structure, then it can control the climate. It can balance between the temperature and the humidity. It will be able to control light to an extent by closing or opening the curtains wherever required. It will also be able to inject carbon dioxide if needed, to make sure the right amount of carbon dioxide is maintained all the time to enhance photosynthesis. And all of us know there is, grid electricity shortage is there in most places in our country. So people who are serious about farming, and I mean especially the ones that have large polyhouses, do install gensets today. So our system can also automatically turn the genset on when the grid power is not available, but something important has to be done, like irrigate, or maybe do some sort of a climate control or nutrient management. The system will automatically turn the genset on and do what needs to be done at this point in time, and turn off when the job is completed. And finally, we have also enabled traceability. Although it is not backed up by blockchain at this time, it has a traceability, so you will be able to know the entire history of the crop, where it was grown, what was used as the input to grow the crop, and what pesticide was used. So all kinds of details will be made available to an end consumer or a middleman by scanning a QR code. And I'll just give you a comparison of productivity, average productivity in India versus average productivity in Asia. And this data was collected in 2019 from two sources, uh, which I have listed below. So if you look at some of the crops, like for example, if you take mango, 3.24 tons per acre as an average. In India and Asia, 8.75. And if you look at tomato, 9.58 as the average, while I mean average Indian number, while Asian productivity is at 42.78. And you can look at that difference in most crops, or almost all crops. Now, uh, in so we've been while we have commercialized a solution just about 3 years back, from 2013, we have been running a lot of pilots and prototypes in understanding what the impact of technology will be in precision farming. So here are some of the data. So again, this data was from 2014, 15, and 16. So we did 3 trials in tomato, and if you look at this data, with technology, we were able to achieve an average yield of 67 tons per acre, while the highest we achieved was 84 tons. And in the traditional method, it was 9 tons. And it is not just the productivity increase. If you look at the per kg water utilization, with technology, it comes down to about 62 liters per kilogram of tomato, while in the traditional method, it is 196 liters per kilogram of tomato. And that is similar for most crops. I mean, chili, for instance, we were able to hit an average of 19 with technology help, which consumed about 221 liters per kilo, while without technology, 2.5 tons with 627 liters per kilogram. So, I mean, we have now this data for about 20 plus crops. But the point is that today's modern technology, which includes IoT, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, is able to increase the productivity and reduce the water utilization. I mean, water, as we all know, is a very precious commodity which is non-renewable, and like what Mr. Paril said before, it is going to be a serious issue in the short term. Therefore, usage of right technology at the right place can not only increase the productivity, but also can reduce water utilization. And not just that, right application of nutrients will also help in maintaining the soil fertility. Today, over 90% of the farms do inorganic method of cultivation. Therefore, it is very important for us to ensure the soil degradation does not take place. Technology helps in ensuring that the soil is not degraded. And reduced water usage also directly relates to the reduced consumption of electricity, right? So that's I just wanted to close with this case study. And thank you so much, Partha sir. I just wanted to finish it real quick as you had requested before, and I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Benjamin, for your brief and quick recap of the things. I think it is quite useful to even to this excellency. Maybe if he's listening, maybe he can carry this message and communicate to the African countries where he basically wanted to double the production and double the income, basically. And as the last speaker of the day, I would like to call upon my friend Dr. Kabali from Oman to say his words, like how the digitization is going to help the value chain of agriculture. Over to you, Dr. Kabali.
Dr. Pata, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Fantastic.
You are
Thank
audible
you.
even from Oman.
Thank you, Dr. Pata, for this wonderful opportunity to be among some of the best and elite scientists and practitioners in the agri sector. I would like to thank His Excellency Dr. Manoj, Dr.
I'm
Moni,
still
Mr.
there.
Parial,
Now it's okay. It's connected.
and my good
Thank you.
friend Mr. Benjamin, who have shared their views uh, on agri value chain and digital transformation. One of the challenges of being the last speaker is whatever you want to say, it is already said. So I'm a little bit puzzled to what to share,
It is
especially.
the other way around. Whatever has not been said, you can definitely cover. That is another advantage.
So I try to compliment. I try to compliment. So I'm not going to make a presentation, but let me. I've noted down few points, so which I want to share with you. So the topic given to me is importance of digital transformation in agri value chain. So when you look at the agri value chain, it starts from the input supply, production, collection, processing, and retailing. Now, this has been there for many, many years. So what is happening is now, particularly there are a lot of phenomena happening, particularly this digital transformation, and post-COVID we call it as acceleration, is going to bring lot of opportunities as well as challenges. So this is where we are focusing now. Now, what is this new animal called digital transformation? Of course, in the presentation, Dr. Moni, we extensively covered all the digital technologies, which includes artificial intelligence, blockchain, drones, kind of technologies. So there are a host of technologies which we understand from his presentation. So what is really happening is, I always say it is not the technology you have which is going to create value, but it is how creatively and innovatively you deploy these technologies. That is where the real value comes in. So, therefore, we need to focus on how to deploy these technologies in creative and innovative ways so that it creates value for the stakeholders. That's what very aptly mentioned by His Excellency Dr. Manoj. The stakeholders is very, very important. So even when you look at from the strategy perspective, we say stakeholder expectations and fulfilling their expectations are very important when you are formulating strategy. So why suddenly we are talking about deploying all these technologies? Are we not comfortable with the existing technologies? So let us look at some of the data points. According to United Nations, His Excellency also mentioned this. The world population will reach close to 10 billion in 2050 and 11.2 billion by 2100. So there is one side rapid population growth, and the other side it is severe reduction in global food production. So both are contradicting phenomena, and this leads to food shortages and food security issues, which is what the agriculture challenges today. And adding to that, there are a lot of intermediary corporations which are very concentrated, which are keeping this value chain very tightly and closely. So these digital technologies, for example, when you look at data, world's 570 million farmers, supplying to more than 7 billion consumers, which are controlled by few global and regional intermediary corporations. This is the point. So how to empower the farmers, how to democratize the entire value chain? Because at the end of the day, one more issue we always say is the farmers, they don't get their fair share. So this is one of the major issue. Time and again it is being told, particularly small farmers. So what happens? The consolidation of agriculture inputs such as seeds, agrochemicals, seed breeding, trading, and food processing has contributed to rising food costs also. On the other side, the demand side, the food cost is also increasing. So one part of the solution is deploying these advanced digital technologies, which can address these challenges. So when you look at advanced technologies, there are many, but now they started calling it as ABCDE of advanced technologies. A stands for artificial intelligence, and B stands for blockchain, and C stands for cloud, and D stands for data, E stands for ecosystems. Now, when you just when we were listening to all the speakers, the previous speakers, excellent speakers, one point is keeping on coming up for discussion, that is data, data, data. See, one of the important aspects of digital transformation is datafication. Now, wherever possible, so these digital technologies, which includes the IoT, which Mr. Benjamin mentioned, sensor technologies, all these technologies are capable of capturing data. Now, the very interesting point about data is data can provide you insights. That insights can lead to innovations. So this is how it operates. So therefore, datafication becomes a very important part of digital transformation. So based on my research, I found that digital transformation has got three layers. The first layer is datafication, where you try to deploy technology to capture all possible data, then make sense of the data and try to digitalize the processes. Sometimes it works the other way also. People start with digitalizing the processes. In the process, they get data. So it can work together. So digitalization is nothing but digitalizing the processes. So for which, people who are working in the agri value chain should map the processes, whatever it is. As we mentioned, right from the inputs to the consumption, the entire value chain, try to map it, every part of it, and try to look closely, keeping these digital technologies as lenses. So you will get a lot of insights. And along with that, this data also adds a lot of value. So the data throws some lot of insights. So based on these insights, you deploy new strategies which can create more value. So this is how it operates. And the final form of digital transformation, according to my research, is entire business model innovation, complete business model. So as far as datafication and digitalization is concerned, in a traditional model, you deploy this and get more insights. But by using this, when you are an expert in these areas, then you move towards complete digital transformation, which is all about complete business model innovation. So that is the highest form where we can aim at. Some of the benefits of this digital agriculture or smart agriculture is which can address the issues of food shortage, product safety and security, pricing management, and so on and so forth. When you look at the value chain, so what are all the things can be done? Of course, my good friend Mr. Benjamin rightly started by saying we're talking about precision agriculture and agricultural drones. So it starts with farming, where you can deploy drones, and precision agriculture, where you deploy IoTs and sensors and so on and so forth. So when you move on to food processing, the next link in the value chain, you can think about intelligent automation of food facilities, food factories, and using of big data analytics for getting insights. Somebody mentioned that data can provide you predictability. Predictable analytics can give you more power. So these are some of the things which can happen in the food processing, which includes machine vision and machine learning for quality control and so on. Then you move on to the next link in the value chain, which is distribution. Of course, we are very much, actually, when you just look at this, the supply side and demand side, the demand side is more already impacted by these digital technologies, which includes, delivery services and whatnot, e-commerce and so on and so forth. Also, there are a lot of digital transformation possibilities in the extended value chain, which includes digital farming advisory services and fintechs for farmers, supply chain management, and blockchain deployment of blockchain for food traceability kind of thing. So when you look at some of the technologies and its applications, for example, when you look at blockchain can increase, greatly enhance the agricultural traceability, and we always call blockchain as a trust technology, because whenever there are two parties, we don't trust each other. We need a third party intermediary to mediate between these two parties. This is what traditionally happening, but the blockchain is a kind of technology which can remove that intermediary. So that's the beauty of blockchain. So this is only the capability of blockchain. That is what I said. Again, I want to underline, this technology can be deployed in more creative and innovative ways. So this is a technology which can remove intermediary. So imagination is the solution for thinking about how to deploy these technologies. So that's what I want to strongly emphasize. So we need to develop people. So because there is also a lot of mention about startups, right? So that's very, very important. So when we talk about startups, and even Dr. Moni was mentioning about agribusiness management beautifully, and also about data analytics and so on and so forth. True. We need more today. We need more human talents. It's not just human resource, the human talents, those who can think of deploying these technologies more, understand these technologies, and deploy creatively and innovatively. Even though I'm a business researcher, I always suggest that I always tell my business leader trainees that you need not worry about technology is already there, right? So what we need to do is we need to understand what are the capabilities of these technologies, what these technologies can do and cannot do, right? So once you understand that, and once you look at through that lens, when you look at your businesses, you get a lot of insights about how to deploy these technologies in more creative and innovative ways, so which can lead to innovative business models. And there are a lot of talking about one technology is called API. API is a application programming interface, which is very, very important technology through which quickly we can create needed processes and solutions and application sharing mechanisms. So when you quickly look at the digital innovations at farm level, I will just finish it in 2-3 minutes. Precision agriculture, already my good friend Mr. Benjamin has elaborately discussed that. So it can it can help a lot deploying drones and drone services, and this also gives many opportunities for new drone based startups, right? And then when you look at digital innovations in the extended value chain, so today we are talking about real time. So one of the major issues in major opportunities in digital transformation is today the physical and cyber systems are seamlessly integrating. We call it a cyber physical system. So what is happening is the consumer wants everything in real time now, right? Real time. So therefore these application of these smartphone apps and digital tools can help farmers to have real time data on soil, climate, irrigation, pest, diseases, and market prices, where to obtain loan, to connect with buyers, and so on and so forth. So many opportunities. And digital marketplaces can link farmers to other supply chain actors. So these are some of the technologies which are being extensively used in extended value chain. And digital innovations in food manufacturing, of course, we know intelligent automation. There is a lot of talk about RPA, robotic process automation, which is essentially a software which can do things on its own. We can call it as digital employees, right? So instead of physical employees, we can deploy digital employees. So any work which is repetitive and routine can be deployed with an RPA. So which will release the human intelligence and talent for other more creative and innovative work, and which is followed by big data analytics and machine and machine learning kind of things. So this all helps in improving decision making, enhancing the customer experience. See, when I research, when I look at the digital transformation, I found one of the first and foremost areas of application of digital technologies is how to enhance the customer experience along the value chain. So this is the very important. That can be the starting point. So finally, the innovations in grocery retailing, as we all know, as I said, the supply side it's already happening, right from e-commerce to online stores, online marketplaces, super applications, and so on and so forth. And innovations now happening in meal delivery services, which is we call it as the farm to the fork. So meal delivery services also a lot of innovations happening, and a lot more to come. And one statistic says the meal delivery service itself is $100 billion market, in Asia Pacific region. So these are some of the opportunities we need to, but there are some challenges. There are a lot of structural issues, affordability issues, and skill gaps. Also, the regulatory bottlenecks. So that is where people like His Excellency Dr. Manoj, Dr. Moni can play Mr. Parial can play a very important role in helping government to come out with right policies. Of course, we all can together join hands to do that, so that it removes a lot of bottlenecks. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity, Dr. Pata.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kabali. So I now would like to call upon a very silent spectator who was, of course, who lightened the event and then enlightened and us, and then she has been very quiet and observing us. I just wanted to have her opinion. Dr. Vaishali, she herself is a practitioner of artificial intelligence from Mumbai University. Very strong exponent. I think she has written more than 65 thesis papers so far on this. So, can you come upon and give your few comments, Dr. Vaishali? I hope you are there. I think should come sometime. So, maybe before calling upon my friend Vijay Kumar Devarajan, I just wanted to have some food for thought. What exactly? So many things have been discussed, and we have been talking about various technologies and various ideas, how it can be implemented and how it could be taken up, and so on and so forth. But one strong feeling which I have is an ounce of practice is always better than tons of preaching. So, as a very small initiative, we have started doing something in this direction, and we are going to come out with various services as a hosted services, because be it your blockchain, be it your precision tech farming or whatever it is, at what cost can a common farmer afford it? The first and foremost question, yes, sir, you are telling doubling income, everything is there, everything is okay, fantastic. But where do I get the money to implement all these things? So that is the biggest bottleneck. So we as a community, what we are trying to help out is as far as possible try to find out some agencies who are willing to provide some funding as CSR funding, or maybe long-term borrowing or something like that, or some people can maybe, okay, I'll provide the technology and carry maybe per quintal or whatever it is, or something like that. So various mechanism we are trying to work it out, and shortly that yes, before 31st of December, we will be definitely starting up this blockchain as a service where the manufacturer of any produce can pay per QR code or whatever it is. And we are definitely going to integrate, especially in the millet area, we are going to integrate everybody right from like okay the seed provider like say IIMR and so on, and would like to take the processing units as nearer as possible as Professor Moni was telling that each and every district should have some startup which can value add to this effort or something like this. So we have made a very humble beginning in these areas, and I hope yes we'll be definitely succeeding. That we have already onboarded about say 17 processors and about 30 farmers in different segments, and I'm very happy to announce over here that yes, with my friend Mr. A.M. Parial on 12th of April, I think we'll be signing up an MOU where something close to 100 FPOs and FPCs will be participating in an event where we'll be joining hands and then try to empower them. So this is my concluding word, and I would like to have His Excellency's opinion and maybe his comments as a takeaway for us, so that how we can line up the things further and then we can take it further through Ordo. And of course, Professor Moni is taking all his efforts to line up some meeting with us to Ordo and then how it can be taken up. As a team, what can be offered? Yes, we have showcased. Of course, we are partners with Cropway, we are partners with the Farm Again, and of course, Dr. Kabali is one of our ecosystem mentor and so on and so forth. So, with this, Your Excellency, we can definitely assure you a better service where we'll be able to do justice if we are given an opportunity. Only thing is, you need to help us and guide us how things can be taken up further. Over to His Excellency.
Thank you very much, Dr. Partha. I think we've gone through lots of interesting uh, concepts, issues, practical things happening on the ground. And to come precisely to your query, as I said in my speech, the keynote address, we are a platform we can easily connect any startup, any technology provider to 31 countries at one go. We usually have what we call meetings with ambassadors and excellencies from different countries, from Asia and Africa. So I usually have that platform. We open it. There are certain ways we can accommodate any of the service provider, the technology provider, especially if it is a novelty and it is going to be impactful for African and Asian countries. And we know there are many such things which are being done. And as some of the panelists have been exposing technologies which are invented and promoted from India itself. And we know these are technology which are easily adaptable and from a very cost effective also technologies. So, and we've already put on our website. So any party, depending on from where it's coming, either in academia, a startup, or a commercial party, who you can have access to lodge and to park those technologies and facilities on our website. Secondly, we are open to discuss possibilities of having presentation of your technology or any facilities or any service you are giving to all of the excellencies at one go. But unfortunately, we just had our meeting with the excellency. This is every 6 months meeting. So the next one will be after 6 months. We'll be meeting all ambassadors and high commissioners based in India. So these are opportunities I can leave open to anyone willing to avail of these facilities. And we are also having the possibilities of trying and implementing some what we call pilot projects in our member countries. So these we've got a small funding for that, but it's quite a small funding, and that depend on the receiving governments. So we have to go through the receiving government willing to acquire whatever technologies we are offering from this site. But still, from my side, rest assured, Professor Mooney knows the mechanism very well. We've been working for quite long now. We've got agreement with Shobit University. We are training people also. We've got HR programs. We've got seminars online. So you can be also one of our invitees to present the product online, first of all, to all our member countries. And if ever there is need to transfer some what we say model or some technology type of show for showcasing, we also facilitate that through our embassies and high commissioners in Delhi. I hope that answers a bit your query, and we are open to further discussions. We can always meet either
Yeah,
online
yeah,
or
of course.
physically.
I
Thank you.
have one last question, maybe, Casey. Since you declared open the expo, is there any possibility that some of your participation nations can come and participate in similar events and we can network with them virtually so that some technological discussions can take place so that we can take it further on a consolidated way?
Thank you. We usually have this type of requests. We are also running this type of events with many countries. We are running programs, such program with
You are
Korea,
muted, sir.
South Korea, Taiwan, where Malaysia, we run
It
this type
seems
of
you are
program.
muted. We are not able to hear you.
No, I'm not.
We can hear. Yes.
Yeah.
No, we can hear.
Yeah, to come back again, we've got this type of support and request. We are open to bring, on the contrary, we want to bring more people to such events because, as I said, we believe that science and technology has to be brought more and more to people, to society, to solve a series of problems, not only from the agricultural perspective, but lots of. This is why we are very much connected to many IITs in India and many research institutions in our member countries. And we are open to this type of bringing our participants. On the contrary, we look for this type of opportunities, but we have to discuss only the formalities and the way they can attend. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your valuable time and your kind suggestions. So
It's my
to
pleasure.
do to the rest of the formalities, I now call upon our friend Mr. Vijay Kumar Devarajan joining us from UK, London. So Vijay, over to you to do the rest of the formalities. All good things should come to an end, and let's conclude it with a kind gesture of vote of thanks.
Thanks,
Over to
Partha.
you, Vijay.
Thanks for giving an opportunity to be part of this delighted event. I'm very happy to give vote of thanks. I'd like to thank Partha for bringing this event. Though I'll come to that, thanking you in the end. I'd like to thank Mr. Gunashekar for the welcome address, and I'd like to thank Dr. Manoj for being the guest of honor and inaugurating the expo. The expo is going to bring in a lot of opportunity for people in the agricultural field. I'd like to thank Professor Moni for giving the insight on role of agriculture informatics in doubling farmers' income. I'd like to thank AM Pariel for giving insight into role of geospatial data in developing agricultural ecosystem. I'd like to thank Mr. Benjamin Raja for insight into multiply yield with cost-effective advanced technology. I'd like to thank my friend Dr. Kabali Subramanian for giving insight into importance of digitization in agriculture and value chain. And finally, I like to thank Partha for bringing this event. He is doing lot of activities in and around the startups in business, startup in agriculture, and lot of things in this ecosystem. I wish him good luck and hope lot of things comes up in this event. This event is therefore from 8th to 15th, and request everyone to support Partha for his venture to support the people in the ecosystem. And thank you very much, everyone. Thanks, Partha.
Thank you very much, Vijay, for doing the formalities of vote of thanks. So with this, we'll come to the close of today's event. And as Vijay was telling that it is an 8-day event, and tomorrow we are going to discuss about the export opportunities for these value-added products in various part of the continents. People from Malaysia, of course, are going to join, and from European Union countries, and also from GCC countries. Some importers will be joining, and it will be an interaction with some of the manufacturers who are there in India. So I hope that the event goes on very well, and I thank you everyone from the bottom of my heart for your valuable time and your valuable participation, especially His Excellency for his wonderful time. Thank you everyone, and
Thank you.
good day, goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.